Hi, Ian here from Picture It Clock, and I want to take a moment this morning to talk about the mortgage forbearance that is being offered by a lot of our mortgage companies, and a meme that's going around Facebook suggesting that you'll have to pay that back as one lump sum when that date becomes due. And there is truth to that quite a bit, and a little bit of falseness too. So first thing about that is that it is very easy to request the forbearance on your mortgage, especially if you deal with a big bank like Wells Fargo or Chase, Huntington, any other big brands like that. You call them up and it's going to immediately get a phone call or a message saying that you need to go online or you're going to be waiting for a long time, and then request it. And then I did that and then immediately got a response saying that it was going to be approved immediately. You answer some questions on there. Are you on reduced hours, or is your spouse on reduced hours, or some kind of reduced income due to COVID-19? Do you have a kid that's out of school because of COVID-19? It's pretty easy, all right? One of the things has to apply. So you're going to get letters and stuff in the mail, it says. It does not say anything other than the fact that you do not need to make your payments until July 1. That's all. Nothing else is said about it. And I have to say, I didn't think anything about it until I saw, this meme that my wife shared. And it's just that because I don't really buy all the information off of to look at myself. Paperwork comes in the mail, okay? And what you need to know, all right, so peruse, blah, Ian Kosher, all right? We have suspended, okay, your obligation to make your monthly mortgage payment for 3 months. Unless you receive further relief, you'll need to resume your regular mortgage payment schedule beginning on July 1, 2020. Fantastic. So you wad this up and throw it away, okay? It's a very lengthy document, okay, from Wells Fargo. Imagine that, all right? And they did enclose a pre-postage paid envelope and a signature form towards the back of it here. So they would like me to sign this document and send it back to them. So, signature page. Fair enough. So I noticed that, I'm like, okay, so let's take a look at this thing pretty well in depth. So, first thing, just regular crap. They're under no obligation to enter into any agreement, and it doesn't break the original contract. It doesn't constitute any kind of waiver from Wells Fargo home mortgage, and the right to insist on the performance of the original contract. So, blah, 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 what does that mean? It means they can enforce the original contract. They don't have to do anything with this, whether you sign it or not. All the terms and provisions in your current mortgage note and mortgage security instrument remain full in force. So just keep that in mind, okay? They don't have to do that. They don't have to do anything. Okay. Now, all your payments, and in my case, this is what this document say, will become due on July 1st, all right? So I had already paid my April mortgage payment, but had I not, this would have been for April, May, and June, okay? So, since this will expire on that point, my July 1 mortgage payment would be due. So, on July 1st, if I take no action, because I haven't read further in this page yet, then April, May, June, and then July payment will be due. So, that'd be 4 mortgage payments at one time. So if you're in a crisis now and you can't afford 1 mortgage payment, then how the hell are you going to afford 4 mortgage payments, right? So it does get into, on page 3, finally, if you have read that far, what to do if you're unable to deal with this after short-term relief ends. First, you need to call, imagine that, all right, by June 15th, okay? June 15th, which is 15 days before your term is going to end, so I assume that you can get this prepped and remodified. It says that a modification is possible, okay? If you find that you need more time to recover or unable to catch up, please contact us to talk about your specific financial needs. We can explore more options. Some longer-term options may be available that may affect the terms of your loan, including the interest rate, the maturity date, and the monthly payment amount. Reporting past due status to consumer reporting agencies, late fees, and possible foreclosures activities may resume. So, it does not say anything about moving payments into the loan, anything like that at that point. So, I decided to call. What else am I doing besides watch my kid not do her homework and scream at her every 20 to 30 minutes to get it going? So, okay. So I call and wait on hold forever to talk to Haley at Wells Fargo Home Mortgage, who was very nice, alright? And so I had some very specific questions. One, alright, I've done this and I appear to be approved. Is that the case? Yes, alright. Two, my understanding is that on July 1st, reading in this very lengthy document, I would have all my payments due. Is that correct? Yes. Your payments will be due, except for your April payment, which is already due. So you have May, June, and July. In my case, because I'd already paid April, May, June, and then July 1st, my payment would be due. So those three would be due. She had let me know if I went past the 15th of July, I would have a late fee assessed, because that's when my bank says that's when the late fee is due. I said, okay, well, it says explore more options, if I can't make it. She said, yeah, there's some options there. They could do a refinance of your loan. So then I inquired about my interest rate, because I bought this house when the last financial crisis went on, and I have an interest rate of 3.25%. It's kind of untouchable, At least, I don't know what's going to happen next, but for the last while it was untouchable. And so she said, well, we're just going to kind of reconvert these loans to be about the same. It doesn't say that in this paperwork, which you have to sign and send back, okay? And that's just a conversation on the phone. So here's my advice. One, you have to request this or nothing's going to happen. You'll be delinquent on your mortgage, okay? Two, they're going to send you paperwork in the mail that you have to sign and return it. They would not send you a prepaid postage envelope for you to not have to send that back to them, okay? They're paying money to have that sent back in the mail. So you're already being deferred on your payment. They're not getting money from you. And they're sending you an envelope that's postage paid to return to them. So they want the document signed, or this action isn't going to take place, right? Some banks, maybe you can do it electronically, but Wells Fargo is a big bank. If they need it on paper, there's a reason for that. I'm going to do it just because I don't know what the future holds, okay? Currently, my wife's working telework. Currently, I'm off work, but I have the federal time, okay? So, emergency sick leave and emergency family medical leave for those of you that have children like we do that are out of school. School's closed. That's federal law, so look into that for your employers that aren't, giving you information. Some of you may qualify for that. So anyway, while you're, working on those type of things, look at this and, take a look at what you got, because you're not certain of what the future holds. So this can't hurt to have this modification in place just in case for the next couple months, but maybe you either make your payment, okay, because you have the money, and then you wouldn't have this accrue and be due, or I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my mortgage payment in a savings account, one that I don't regularly have access to. It takes a couple days to transfer back in, and then that way when June 15th or July 1st comes around and everything's stable and fine, then I'll just pay it all as one lump sum back, but I would have the cash to liquidate out just in case something happens. That's just me. I'm not a professional financial advisor by any means, so you should ask one if you need that kind of advice. What I'm bringing this to you today is to tell you to read the documents, okay? There's several pages here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11 pages, okay? 11 pages of documents. Most people who get this in the mail aren't going to read it. Some of you won't open it, alright, unless you watch something here, it's going to be important. And this is 10 minutes long. Half you won't watch the damn video. So it's important. Open the mail, take a look at it, sign it, and send it back. Because that meme is true if you take no action. And the same is probably true on car payments. Definitely true if you have a landlord. Landlord's not giving you rent free. They're not getting anything from the government. If the government was giving them the rent to subsidize your rent, like Section 8, then yes. If they're not getting anything, they're going to kick your ass out as soon as they can get an eviction note, date in court. So pay attention to what you got. And then, like, for all of us, like me, doing this video now, please support your small business. You know, we're doing what we can to provide our resources to do what we can, but, you know, we're struggling. This is my lowest week in sales since this started, so help out where you can. We should all be good to each other. Read your mail, okay? Call your creditors if you can't pay your bills. Don't wait to the last minute, because that's when things will get repossessed. That's when lights will get shut off. It's not going to happen now. People are doing the nicey nice thing. They're going to have all good appearances. We're not going to repossess your car. We're not going to turn off your lights. We're not going to turn off your internet. Okay, well, that's only going to last so long, alright? If this continues, then it'll get old, okay? And then they'll start doing the shit anyway, because they can't provide stuff for free, okay? And if it gets fixed, well, you're going to be behind and either make that arrangement to where you can't even afford that extra on top of it, or we don't know what kind of jobs we're going to have. So deal with it now before it gets out of control and you can't handle it then, okay? And then check me out if you can, please. PictureItClock.com or AffordableClocks.com. Remember your mom from Mother's Day. It's coming right up in a couple of short weeks. We'll ship it directly to your house. I have to plug myself there. Have a good day.